Hello friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a live flip through of all of my August after the pen spreads here in my catch-all Frankenplanner, which is very chunky right now. We will be going through my faith, my health, my daily planner or my catch-all planner, and my hourly goal planner, and I'll be showing you all the spreads, how I use it, answering any questions you may have about my setup, excuse me, and then also to just, anything that comes to mind as we're going through that you might have questions about as far as planning or what I'm doing or just all that good stuff. Go ahead and drop that in the chat, which is why we do this live, so we can answer all those fun questions as we go. So hopefully a few of you are starting to jump on. I'll give you guys some time to get on to the chat if you can, and maybe put in your name and where you're tuning in from. And I'll briefly just go over my setup in the meantime while I'm waiting for that to populate. So the way that I tend to plan is I put all 5 planners that I work out of in one planner a month at a time. So I basically only use, this one planner for the whole month, and then I will feed in and out of the other planners as needed on a monthly basis, but mainly I'm working out of this one planner every day, and this is all that I need to touch. This works out the best for me just because I am, a one planner girl, I guess. I really like to have just everything all at once. I put a lot of other things in here as well that I might need to keep on hand, including some reference materials for like my business or for my work, or even personal reference, educational things. I also keep all my goals, all of my productivity stuff in here. So basically this is my master book, and I use it for all the things. So I see we've got a couple of people starting to jump on. Yay, happy Sunday. I've got one here from Alabama. Hi, how you doing? Is it Tanisha? I think it's Tanisha. My eyes are going a little bit bad. But hi, welcome, and thanks for joining me. Okay, so as I kind of see people popping on, I'll just keep going through. I am planning on just doing mainly the flip through today. I've done a couple of planner setup videos, and we'll be doing a planner refresh pretty soon for fall. Still have all of my summer kind of decor in the planner itself still live, but I'm ready to get some fall vibes in here. So I'll be doing a refresh soon, but if you want to see more about my planner setup, just let me know as we're going through so that I can quickly touch on those things and then jump back to the flip through. Okay, I see hi, Alma's on, Janine, Janet, thank you guys for joining me. Okay, I'm glad you're here with me on this Sunday, especially with the Labor Day and the holiday weekend. I know a lot of people are out and about. Okay, so let's, like I said, I'm going to just kind of jump forward to the flip through, but I will briefly just go over the major sections. So I have here an inbox section at the very front. So I have some decor items, a sticky dash, whatever. I have an inbox section. Then I jump to a goals section. Yeah, I can just do like this. And then I have a productivity section, which I kind of mentioned there in the beginning. And then where we're going to live today is in the schedule section. So there's all that. And at the front of my schedule section, I have my year at a glance and future log. I'll briefly show you my future log as it stands today. Sometimes you guys have questions on that. I did do a setup video on this at the very beginning of the year, so if you want to know all the deets, but basically it's a running list of things that I like to track, and I use that to migrate into the rest of my scheduled planners, as you're going to see as we go through. So this is where everything goes first, and then I move it in to those other planners. Okay, so and then I have like a little key here too with a color coding, in case you're wondering what all the colors were. So then right behind that is where we start the faith planner. And so that's where we're gonna live here for the moment. I have, like I said, this August planner. Hold on a second, I just saw something jump in the chat. Is that future log in my shop? Yes, it is, and it's called future log, so you should be able to find it for whatever size you're looking for. Okay, so yes, back to the faith planner. So here we have for August, I have been using pretty much for the whole year inserts from my shop. I have a printables shop on Etsy, if you weren't aware, Squaird Plans, and I've been using those for my planners. A lot of them are similar to Happy Planner spreads, in case you're unaware, so it just makes it a little bit easier for you guys to follow along in case you have Happy Planners. A lot of the options are available in a Happy Planner version, but this Faith Planner itself is not. It's a quadrant layout, which is something that's unique to my shop. But at the front, I do have a monthly layout, and this monthly layout comes standard with all of the combined printable planners that I have, and is very common on Happy Planners as well. Sorry, you guys, I'm running out of breath. Hold on a second. I can feel my lungs are struggling today. It's very humid. Okay, so what I do here for my faith planner is I take one theme and I theme the entire month in all the same theme. So you're going to see throughout this month, everything's going to look kind of the same kind of sticker, same color scheme, and that just makes it easier. It's just one less thing I need to worry about every week, and it helps me get things done more efficiently. And what I've been doing on the monthly is basically taking the daily Bible reading that I do and doing a little summary of what I read and getting what I call the takeaway, which is whatever I'm going to use to apply to my life for that day. I missed a couple of days last month, as you can see, but for the most part, I've been pretty consistent. I also write in what verses I read that day, and I do all that in an app called the YouVersion Bible app. That app is available, I know, on Apple. I'm not sure if it's available in other places, but I would assume so. It's just a really great app for reading the Bible. It has different plans in there. It's got some, verse of the days, which I will use later. And it's just a really, a good app. I don't have any affiliation with them, the church, or anything, but it has been one of the better apps that I've ever used for Bible reading and what have you. Okay, so just that said, that's pretty much what I use. I have my phone with me every morning, and then I do my daily reading, which is all part of my year through the Bible. I do the entire reading of the Bible in a year. Sorry, I'm already running out of breath. In a year, and then I, like I said, do this takeaway portion of it. So that's what I've been using the monthly for. And then I have what is somewhat new to my faith planner in 2023, and a really loud car is going to go by. This is my faith overview layout. So again, this is from my shop. It's unique to my shop. It's kind of based off of the monthly layout that the Happy Planner puts out, but I've customized it specifically for faith planning. So it comes with the prayer list prompt here to kind of give you a spot to do your prayer lists. It also has this currently area here with some prompts for, kind of checking in with your spirituality throughout the month, and just some questions to answer so you can kind of see where you're at in your spiritual walk on a monthly basis. And then the rest is really just kind of open space here, some dot grid down here, and then some habit trackers. So the way I've been setting mine up, I've been doing my daily morning prayer, my Bible reading, my lettering, which you're going to see in a minute, and then my takeaway or my summary of the reading, which is on the previous page. So that's how I use that. I have my prayer list, like I said. I do my little currently thing, and then I usually select a verse for the month, and then I will pin it in here at some point. I was doing it more on camera earlier in the year, but sometimes I just don't get to it before I need to really film this setup, so I've been doing it a little bit after the fact, but I'm still doing it. So this was my verse for the month to kind of see every day and kind of dwell on. And then I just got confirmation, yes, YouVersion Bible app is available on Android. Okay, so as you can see, the theme is all kind of the same, and this is how it turned out. I did add in some orange, kind of rusty orange pen, which you're going to see too in the weekly. Wasn't originally going to do that, but I kind of got a little bit of blue overload, so I decided to add that in, and I think that just kind of helped balance out some of the copper elements too. So this was my very first week in the Quadrant layout. So again, this is something kind of unique to my shop that you're not going to find in the most pre-printed planners. But I really love it for doing the verse of the day lettering, which is how I've been using this planner. So in that app, it feeds in a verse every day, and I just basically take it and do a little bit of lettering, just practices my lettering, gives me some creativity. It's fun to look at too after the fact. So that's how I've been using it. It's my way of kind of, you know, spending more time in the Word, but not really committing to like journaling, because I'm not big on just writing out, you know, thoughts and feelings. I mean, the most that I am really able to do is this takeaway, and this sometimes is a struggle. So this is another way for me, who isn't really into writing down things, to really get into interpreting the Word and being part of it. So this was the first month, the first week, and I've been using markers this month. So I've been using these mild liners actually. They're not the best for lettering, but I really love this color, and I didn't have a pen that I thought would be better suited with this color. It's kind of a difficult color to find. It's not quite blue, it's not quite gray, it's not quite green. It's a really unique color, and it really matched perfectly with the theme. So decided on this blue, and then like I said, I added in a coppery orange color too on the next spread, and just did every other spread in one of those colors. So this was the second spread, and like I said, I used that other mild liner in the more orange tones. And I do have a lettering series if you kind of want to know how I go about lettering and just like figuring out what I want to do and just getting some ideas on how you could do this. There is a lettering series on my channel, and I can direct that to you. If you want to leave a comment down below, I can give you the direct link to it, or you can just search my channel. It should be there on the homepage. So this was the second week, and then here is the third week. Again, I missed a day. I think I was struggling with something that day that was really early in the morning, and I didn't get a chance to really fill out the verse of the day. But for the most part, I've been keeping pretty consistent with it, as you can see. And I just haven't had the time, honestly, to go back and fill it in. In the past, I would have, but right now is a very busy time for me. So I'm learning to just let things go if I need to, so that I can, you know, keep my peace and not get too stressed out. So that's been happening. And then here is the next week. I think this was the fourth week. And again, just trying different things. I love doing this part in the morning when I have just that nice quiet time, and just that little bit of creativity is very helpful. And then here was the next week. So I think this is the last week. And yeah, I actually just finished this one this morning. So you can see I alternated the colors. I think that came out pretty good, and just gave me a little bit of variety, not just all blue, blue, blue. And then finally we have the back page, which I haven't had time to really use. I have a lot of great ideas from you guys, mainly about how I could use it for gratitude and blessings and things like that. But I've just really struggled to find the time to add that part of it in. But some ideas for you in case you are doing a faith planner and you do have the time and want to know what you could do. Like I said, I've heard just writing down gratitudes, blessings. There's some other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but if I do, I'll try to share them with you at some point. But yeah, so that was how my faith planner turned out for August. Let's go ahead and do what I normally do, which is to push this guy out and put it into its planner now for storage. So this is the planner that it actually lives in, and I just pop it in where it lives. These are just some random rings and cover and dividers. I just threw it all together just as a way to house the inserts, and then at the end of the year I'll archive it I actually have a video showing you how I've been archiving my planners to make them a little more condensed, and that's been working out really well. So, okay, let's see. Oh, we got a couple of things in there. We've got, she uses hers as a list of prayers and Bible studies that I do on Bible, must speak but cannot, that I do on YouVersion. So she's that notes page. I cannot talk. What is happening right now? Failing, fail. Yeah, so she writes down the Bible verses and prayer and a list of prayers on that page. So that's a really good way to use that notes page as well. Some ideas for you in case you can't see the chat. I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed in the chat. No, I think everything else has been addressed. So thank you guys for sharing. Okay, so I've already got September in. I did do the setup for that. I have my verse penciled in. It's the fruits of the Spirit, and I penciled it in, but I haven't even had time to pin it in, so I will be doing that one pretty soon. Okay, let's jump ahead to the next planner, which is my faith planner. I mean, not my faith planner. We were just in my faith planner. Let's get everything situated here too as well. My health planner. Okay, let me just breathe, take a second, and let's do this. Okay, so again, I'm using inserts from my shop. I have eraser shavings all stuck to it, but this is an insert from my shop. And it is my lined vertical layout with lined top box layout with my customization of a hydration tracker added in for my health. You also see a monthly layout, which I will show you now. So at the front, I have my monthly, and here I use this for tracking what I've done as far as workouts are concerned, and mainly for my fasting. So I started doing some 1 meal a day fasting early in spring, almost like a 22-hour a day fast. I haven't been able to really keep up with it lately. My schedule's been all over the place, so I've been tracking my hours a little bit more and just kind of seeing when I'm breaking my fast and when I'm starting my fast. Some of the time I've been doing just my 1 meal a day kind of eating, but a lot of times I've been kind of sneaking in snacks late at night. So it hasn't been going as well as I wanted, but it's good just to kind of see what was happening and how things are fluctuating as far as the fasting hours. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. And it's been, helpful, although I really do want to build back up to being more consistent in doing longer fasts for health reasons mainly. So I have that. I also will put in anything that's like something notable, like here, humidity, or, that my lungs were tight all day, or, I had a sinus headache, that kind of stuff. So I will add that in at the top just as a little kind of note to know what was going on with me that day health-wise. Sorry. And then we have my health overview layout, which again is something that's unique to my shop. I built a couple of these to really create a flow through my planner. I mentioned this before in my planner setup, but basically I was trying to have everything kind of have the same touch points and the same tabs in their positioning as I go through my planner. That's how I navigate my planner in the morning. I just go through the tabs 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across. And that way I don't have to worry about missing a page or forgetting something. I just touch all those points and I know I've done everything I need to do for the day. So each planner has 3 to 4 tabs, and so this was added in because I had one planner that had a spread for my goals in between my monthly and my weekly, so I decided that I wanted them all to have that same spread inserted. So that said, this is my health overview spread, and again, this is in my shop. I decided to put some customizations on here, including having a place for like monthly totals for stats. So if you'd like to track your stats, there's a little chart for that. There is a place for tracking your weight monthly as well as your measurements. There's a nice open space here, which I've been using for health goals, health goals review. Over here, again, some health goals boxes, and then I recently started doing this little area here for bonus points, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but that's been really nice. And then of course some habit trackers. So this is how it turned out. I do theme out the monthly pages as well for this planner, all in the same theme. So just the monthly pages though. So this page, and then the very back page, which you'll see is a habit tracker. So I've been doing this bonus points thing. I got the idea from one of my subscribers who said that they were talking about somehow highlighting little wins when, you know, you're just not doing what you think you're capable of and having trouble getting into it. And I thought that was a really good idea, so I kind of styled it as bonus points. So if I do these little healthy things that aren't too time consuming or too committed, you know, you don't have to commit to them, I would give myself those little bonus points. So that's what I've been doing. So I started adding a list of items that I would count as bonus points, and then I would track whether I did them here in my habit tracker. And then I also am tracking them on the day that I do them in the weeklies. So that's been working out really good. And then like I said, I do a goals review here, just have a few questions that I add in. And then at the end of the month, I will write in how answers to those questions basically. Okay, so that said, that's how the overview turned out for August. So this was my first week in August for my health, and then like I said, this is the lined top box layout for my shop. I added this hydration tracker though as an add-on. And this one I think I did, I can't remember if I did this one as a plan with me or not. Sometimes I have plan with me, sometimes I don't. So if there's anything that you have questions on, just let me know and I'll either direct you to a video or whatever. If you're looking for a specific sticker or something like that, I can direct you to that. So I decided to do kind of like, I feel like this has a very Art Deco vibe to it with the flamingos and the, I don't know, it just felt that way with the black and the white. So kind of leaned into it. I definitely added these boxes in and strengthened them up. Maybe after, I think I did do a plan with me on this. So I think I strengthened these boxes up after the fact because they just felt a little bit scrawny when I did it on camera. And I think I like that better. So I'm tracking my workouts here at the top. I've got my stats for the day here, which I track on my Apple Watch, and then my food logs. This is what I've been eating. And I just like to write it down. I haven't been tracking calories or anything like that with the fasting. I've just been trying to eat that one meal. And then if I snack, I usually will add like these little 3 dots so I know they were separated and I ate them later in the day. So there was a lot of snacking going on, especially when I was really stressed. There was a very stressful couple weeks in September in August where, yeah, things were going off the rails. So, it wasn't great for my health training and goals, but otherwise, you know, seeing it there and just kind of seeing how I dealt with it too is also a way to figure out what I can change going forward. So here is my next week, and this one was a really fun one. I used Zaywild, I think is the name of the artist who collaborated with Happy Planner. Used some of her stickers. I'd gifted some books that I never purchased, and so it was really fun to play around with some new fresh stickers, and I really liked the theme and the tones on this one. But pretty much everything is the same as far as workout tracking, food, stats, and then I've been adding in, like I said, those little bonus items when I had them, so I can kind of know that day I got a bonus. And then next we have this watermelon theme, which was super fun. Pretty sure I did a plan with me on this. I did a nice background to kind of help camouflage the yellow border on these watermelon stickers, and that was a little bit more colorful than I probably would have gone had it not had that, but I still like the way it looked. It really kind of created a highlight through the spread, a little bit of brightness. And then just some basic boxes and some little added watermelon seeds with my, I think, Furunosuke pen. That was perfect for that. So that is how this one turned out. I don't think there was anything else really of note. And then this one was a really fun one. I don't think I did a plan with me on this, but I used some new stickers I picked up in a haul video I recently did from Amazon. So there was like these really cool semi-realistic, I don't know, foliage stickers that were PET stickers that I really love. And so I added those in, but I kind of created like these little wild planters, which I think turned out really cute. And then I also added in a little bit of washi just to kind of help. I don't know, it felt like it needed something else, and I think that really added a nice touch to it. Kind of gave me like a 70s vibe, I think, with the ferns and the hanging plants. You know what I'm talking about, that kind of vibe. So that's what I did, and I really did like how this one turned out as well. Again, though, tracking all the same things, so I'm always trying to make sure I have room to put in everything I need to as far as tracking when I do these spreads, which can be tricky sometimes, I will say. And we're actually still in the last week, so let me go ahead and, actually I'm just gonna move this like this so you guys can see it a little better. Dun, dun, dun. So this one was super fun. Again, I did that haul video and I picked up some acrylic markers from Stationery Pal. And I was dying to use them, so I busted them out and I made these backgrounds with them for these black and white florals. I wasn't as excited about the florals that I had purchased when I opened them up, because the layout, or not the layout, the quality of the designs weren't quite as good as I thought they were, but I still felt like I got a nice cohesive theme together that I was really happy with, and able to really create something kind of cool and funky and different, you know, something bright but different. So this one turned out really fun. I had a really good time with those acrylic markers, which I'll definitely be using again very soon. And then everything else was kind of more subdued. Had a few little pops of color using some, I think, Narrative Hues overlay tapes. And that was pretty much it. And then I just kind of kept everything else pretty sparse. Still tracking all those same things like I mentioned before. So yeah, I still need to add in today's information, so that's why there's still a divider here, but everything else is done for the month, so it's just this last hanging on day, which I'll fill out tomorrow morning. And then on the back, we have the meds and supplements tracker, which I use a habit tracker that's from my shop for this, and I just renamed it Meds and Supplements, and then it says habits here on the original, and I just changed that to say Meds and Supplements there. But basically I use this at the back of all my health planners to, each month, to track the things that I'm taking for all my allergies and asthma and stuff, and then even like face creams, supplements, and then also I've been tracking my symptoms as well. So at the bottom here, that's what you'll see in the dots. Those are different days I had specific symptoms, so I could see how the month really went at a glance. And that's it for my health planner. So I can't really move this out yet because I'm obviously still in that last week. So we will just leave that there, but this is my health planner, so this is where it will go. And basically the same process as the faith planner was. Just take out the month and stick it in and then put it back on the shelf. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to the daily. I will mention too, at the back here of my meds and supplements area, I keep an extra divider, so I make sure I touch that piece of the planner every day. And I also added in a perpetual calendar here where I track my weight daily as well as my daily steps. So that's what goes on here, but I keep that private because it's been a long time since I felt confident sharing my weight. Pre-COVID time was, I think, the last time I really felt good about it. So things are going better, but it's still not ready for public use here. Anywho, so that's what's in there. So just so you know, that's a little extra thing I keep, and I just basically tie it to this dashboard so I remember to fill that out as well. And okay, so now we are into the daily August section, and I call this my daily planner, but really it is just my catch-all planner in a horizontal layout. It's a weekly. I just call it my daily because that's what I used to call my everyday planner, like my daily planner. So sorry if that confuses anybody. Again, these are from my shop. I have a monthly, another overview page, and the horizontal layout, which you'll see. So in my monthly, I have my memory a day keeping. So that's what I've been using my monthly for since I think July. And I'm really happy that I've gone back to the memory a day on the bigger spread versus on the single page spread, which you'll see at the back. So that's how I use that. Real quick, I want to note my summer bucket list, which I've been creating and inserting into this monthly spread each month. So this has carried from June, July, and now August. I have one more that I think I'm going to do, so I'm not sure if I'm going to move this out yet, but it has been really helpful for me, just kind of keeping things in mind that I could do that are fun and that, just to de-stress and have a good time and enjoy life. So they're fun to make and they're fun to have in here. A constant reminder, I see it every day, so it really is beneficial for me. So I do have a setup video if you want to see how I created this. And then on the back, this is where I track what I'm going to do. And then I also put in any notes as far as what day I did it and who I did it with, if applicable. So it's been going pretty good, actually, considering how busy I've been. So I have that. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out so you can see the full month. And again, I theme the entire month with the same theme as far as the monthly pages. So you'll see this blue and yellow kind of pool-esque theme. One thing I will note, I think I talked about this in a recent video about, you'll see, I'll talk about that spread where I talked about it in a second. But I made these with some alcohol ink type method using Sharpie and alcohol and created these stickers. So these ones are perfect. Nothing. But for some reason, this one started to shed onto the other page. And so I think there's definitely a technique to it that works better than others. I think the lighter the touch, the better. The more heavy you go, the more it doesn't want to stay on the material. So I did find that out throughout the month. It was kind of bleeding onto the other page, which wasn't as fun. But things I know, and I think it kind of works anyway with the theme as far as it kind of looks like clouds or water or something, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but just something to keep in mind. Also too, so like I said, I do a memory a day, so I just kind of put a little summary of how the day went, basically, so that I can keep track of what I was doing every other day. And then on the sidebar, I put in the TV I've seen and the books that I read that month. So that's how I'm using the monthly this time around. Like I said, I started doing that back in July. Before I was using this as a scheduling spread, which was great, but it is nice to have the extra room for the memory a day. So that said, let's move on to the next spread, which is my month overview. So this was the third addition to my shop, which was kind of a separate standalone item. This one, I've customized a little bit more than what you'll find in my shop. In my shop, it's an undated month with either a Sunday or a Monday start, but it is undated. No header about social, none of this social stuff down here. These are things I added specifically to me so that it would be more useful for me personally. But if you want anything that's customized like that, you can reach out to me on my shop and I can take whatever the starting point and customize it to you for, a small upcharge. So just let me know through Etsy if you're interested in anything like that, and I can definitely hook you up. So what I use this one for, again, kind of a similar format but different. Got those habit trackers on here. This is I'm using for a monthly to-do list. So these are things that I know I want to tackle for the month, but maybe aren't needing to do like right away or within a specific week. So that's been helpful. And then, like I said, I've been using this for social. So this is where I track my subscribers and followers on Instagram and YouTube, and then some monthly stats and some habits that I do weekly. So this is how this one turned out. It was a really fun one. And here we have the first week in the horizontal, and this one was really nice. I don't remember what sparked this theme, but it ended up coming out really well. I have like a two-toned color scheme that I wanted to work in, and then I had these flowers from Play Anything, and just basically used that to tie everything together. I think I wanted some summer vibes, but I think that's why the lime tones came in, but then I felt like it needed something to kind of contrast with it, and that worked out really well with the purple. So this is how it turned out. I use each day kind of on its own. So if you're not familiar with my layout series where I talk about the 10 layouts for horizontal planners or vertical planners, the way I break up my day is usually I'll have a checklist, I'll have some kind of focus area, and then the third area is for decor. So that's kind of the guiding principle that I use when I'm developing my spreads. Of course, it's not really too strict. Sometimes it might have a little extra decor in one spot, or it might be light on decor in others, or maybe I don't have anything I really need to call out for that day, so it won't have a focus area. But that's really what I'm thinking about when I am building out my spreads. So you'll see on each one there's at least a checklist for sure. Most of them will have some kind of focus area. That's something I want to highlight. And then, and then the decor. And next we have the washi, I think I call this Washi Days theme. This one was so fun. I don't remember if I was inspired by something. I can't remember, but I wanted to do this for a while. I had this idea in my mind for a while. So originally I was going to do rainbow across each of the days, but in the end I decided to do this instead, which is more of a kind of breaking it out into color groups. And I liked how this turned out a lot. Added a little bit of kind of sticker foliage. I think this one was from Ingrid Bloom's, to give it a little bit of something detailed to look at. Although I honestly think it probably would have done just as well without that. Color coded basically each day section, like I said, still going in a rainbow, but a little bit less, structured. And yeah, I think this one turned out really well. I also dabbed in some white, calligraphy ink to add a little bit of splatter as well on top of the washi tape for some texture. And this one was a super fun one too. I had picked up, or actually I had been sent a box from Grabby, their sub box, and really had fun playing around with the items in there, trying some things out. I came up with this theme. These really beautiful florals were part of it. I think pretty much everything, well, not everything, but a lot of the things came in that box except for maybe the washi tape and perhaps the circles. I think these circles and this stamp, but everything else was from that box. So it was really fun to play with and turned out really cute. I really enjoy playing around with that kind of, I don't know what the aesthetic is called, but you see it a lot in bullet journals and junk journaling and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of like this eclectic vintage vibe of stuff, and I really like that. So I'm working it and learning how to use it and really tailor it so that I can still use my spreads but get that vibe going. So I really like that. So one of the things that I did here is kind of limit the color palette to kind of tie everything together through color, and blue was obviously the color palette that I focused in on with the tan, and really liked how this turned out. And then we have these lovely squad girls. I saw a spread by Ileana, the girl from the Happy Planner Squad. she did one like the same week and it was like so much better. I totally had some like, I was like, oh, could have been so much better, but that's okay. It came out really good. She did individual pools for each of her squad girls, and I was like, that's so cute. I did, again, those alcohol inks, and it came out okay, but if you saw the plan with me, I struggled a bit with that same problem of kind of going too heavy with it, and then it kind of coming up off of the page. So I've learned that technique not to do. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to be able to repeat what I did the first time, but the very first one that I did where nothing moved, I need to figure out exactly how much alcohol to ink ratio that was and how much working of it I did, if anything, and see if I can get that down to a science, and I'll definitely share it with you once I figure that out. But anyway, so I did that, and I had these girls kind of in and around the pool and a nice big old school happy planner quote. Really focused in on the pink and the aqua tones on the spread, and it was fun. It was a fun one. So I'm happy I did it. And I learned a lot too. That's always a good thing. And then this is the week we're in now. And this one, I did not do a plan with me on. I honestly thought that this was going to come out a little more vibrant than it did, but I still really like the concept a lot. Part of the problem I think was just kind of there wasn't enough yellow to pull it all together and make it really more vibrant. So I used, I think this was a Happy Planner Essential Seasons or Cheerful Seasons, one of those books. Yeah, I think it was Cheerful Seasons. And they had like a back to school page of stickers. So I just brought that in, put it on a little bit of a background so that it would kind of pop off of the lines and things, so it would just kind of be its own thing. And then I used a little bit of chalk ink around the edges to really highlight the circular nature of it. And then I stuck with the blue and the yellow throughout with washi tape and with the highlighters. And then there's this gray tone that was really the only element that was in there as far as the back to school section in the book that I felt would work with this spread. So I kind of brought that in. It's like a shade of the blue. It's like a really like a toned down version of it with the gray. It's almost like the same shade of blue, just toned down to gray. But yeah, so this one was fun. Again, I'm always thinking about functionality, so trying to make sure they have room for everything I need. But overall, this came out really nice, and I am still working in it, so we will leave this in the planner. And then on the back, I have my actual scheduling month. So instead of using the 2-page month, I've been using the single-page month for, tracking appointments and things like that. I don't have a lot going on, so this works perfectly for me. And I set this up at the very beginning, so I know what's coming up. And then also too, when things come up in the week, like if I plan things out, I'll jot it down here if I don't jot it down in the future log. If it's a few weeks out, then I'll put it in the future log first, but if it's like within the same week, within a couple days, sometimes I'll just add it right here and then add it to my weekly. So that's how the whole month of August was for my horizontal daily planner. And September's already in, so we only have one more to go. I'll go ahead and jump to that. Yeah. So the last planner we're going to talk about is my hourly goals planner. And again, using this time around items from my Etsy shop, although one of them is a trial that I'm still working on getting into my shop. The weeklies are, but I think everything else is available in my shop. So I was using a Happy Planner hourly planner before that had that goals overview page in the middle, and just found that I needed a little bit more time at the end of the day to really track stuff. So I ended up deciding to make my own and try things out. So you'll see that here in a second. But the first area starts off with my social media plans. Basically, I just use this very functionally, not really any decorative items, and I put in my Instagram posts and the YouTube videos I plan to do, and I use this as a check off. This month I started adding in some theme ideas so I could kind of have some ideas ahead of time, where we used to do the plannable challenge every month, and I had some that I already was kind of scheduling in. Now that I can do whatever I want, I find like, of course I don't have any ideas, so I've been trying to figure that out and then putting those in ahead of time so I'm not, scrounging for ideas on the time I need to do it during that week. I see a few things into the chat. Yeah, that one page monthly is also coming to my shop. That'll probably come first, Janet. So just a heads up, I'm hoping to get that in the shop within the next couple weeks. So that's how it is. I also am using just like a one color theme now instead of trying to color code things. So you'll see this color pretty much throughout the whole entire month. So this was my monthly setup. So again, this is now in my shop. It wasn't before, but it is now. I recently put it in, and it is kind of like how I was using the Happy Planner setup. This weekly tasks area is definitely how the Happy Planner was kind of set up. And then over here, I decided to make 4 goal boxes because I just needed more space for goals and how I used it. And this is how I've been using it to really kind of drill into what goals I need for each month. This has been working out really good. I have no complaints about this. It's been really fun to set this up. I like having a little bit of decorative elements in here so that it keeps me interested in this page. And I keep a divider here so I look at it every day. I usually use that to help me track what I have on the week. And then, of course, that leads my eye to the goals so I can, look at the goals and say, okay, yeah, I need to be working on this or that or whatever. I do set up videos on this if you kind of want to know more about this whole process. I check out those videos individually and I kind of walk you through it. So this is the layout to come into my shop. There's a few things that I'm not sure if I want to keep or not. So if you are interested in this and happen to be on the chat, let me know your answers to the following. So I'm undecided if I want to keep the black lines on each of the days or just leave it a gray grid. I think it's helpful, but I've seen some planners with a similar kind of layout just keep it all gray, and so I'm not sure if you guys want one or the other. So let me know. I kind of like the black lines, but I don't decorate this very much. It's very functional for me, so if you're going to do a lot of decorating, that might be a hindrance for you. So let me know if you are on chat. Also, I've been dividing this up into kind of like important work-related tasks at the top, and then my hourly schedule. So you'll see that on each, and I also color code my hourly schedule as I fill it in, and I'll talk a little bit more about that near the end. In the sidebar, I do a little production schedule for the videos I'll be producing for the week. I also have a this week area here. This spread and my horizontal spread have a lot of crossover at this point, so I'm not sure if I need both, but there are some things that I feel like should go on the horizontal, and then there are some things that I feel like should specifically go on the hourly, meaning the hourly schedule. So I don't know yet. I'm still kind of undecided on what I'm going to do with that whole crossover thing that I had going there. But for now, I'm just doing both. I also have a this week area here, or not this week, a next week area, which I think I kind of phased out because it really wasn't being very helpful to remember to put things on the next week. So, but that I did start off like that. Black lines are good. Gray is almost like a regular notebook. Yes, okay, thanks, Beth. And then Janet says she prefers the lighter gray grid and dot grid. Okay. And then these pages amaze me. Oh, well, thanks, Janine. I'm glad you really like that. Okay, so I got both. Black lines, yes, and then one gray lines, yes. So, okay. We'll see if I get any more comments. Maybe I'll put it out to a poll to the greater good, and you guys can let me know before I post them into my shop. Okay, so that said, I have that. I also have, like I said, the color coding. Let's jump to the next week because there really isn't going to be much fluctuation as far as visually on these. I do try out a few little variations, like here at the top, I started adding the priorities header and scheduling header above the schedule section. That was okay. It was just a little redundant to set up. I don't know if you can see this, but I also added in a rose gold kind of floral element on this to kind of tie in with the hourly. And that was just fun just to have a little something there, but it's very hard to see even on the, unless you're at the right light because of the grid and everything. It's very lightly drawn. So it was there mainly just to add a little something to the spreads, but it really wasn't all that much decor. It was mainly just there for a little tidbit. Yeah, so basically the same elements as far as how I'm using it, the priorities, the schedule this week, and the production schedule at the top. Oh, we got a tiebreaker. She says lighter gray and darker gray. Okay, that's a good idea. I like that. Okay, let me think about that. Yeah, all right. You guys are making my life difficult. Got 3 different options, really, what you just gave me. Okay. All right, so here is the next week. Again, a little bit of variation with the setup. This time I just did a priorities line and a scheduled line, which I like that a little bit better. Coloring it in. I'm adding in a little bit of color just to make this a little more fun to be in, because it is pretty drab when it's all pen and there's not a lot of decor. So I'm trying to use color as a way to draw me into the spread a bit. And as you can see, I got rid of the next week section and just kept the this week task list. I also kind of want to use this for like some kind of goal or priority for the week, but I didn't have anything to write in that week in particular, so I just left it blank. And then again, the schedule. So I will talk about the schedule here in just one more spread, and that way you guys can see how it really functions for me. So on this one, again, not really that different. I did it again, but this time I used a little bit of a different pen. I used my Fudenosuke on that one, brush pen, to give it a little bit more presence. Really, actually, I think this is the winner here as far as the way I like it set up. I have a little priority in there, my production schedule, and then the this week here, and a little bit of decor at the bottom. This one I tried out my new, I think Right Tech brush pens, and I added this instead of using the black, which I ended up really not liking at all, the orange with the peach. I don't know, it was just not my jam. I really like the black instead, but kind of the same setup, just using that orange. And here is the week that we're currently in, where I'm actually filming right now. And I pre-plan these spreads out using these little homemade task flags. I do have a setup video on this. I talk about, this is like a planner hack for time blocking. That's the way I do it, so that I can kind of think about how I want my day to go, and then if things don't go to plan, I write in what actually happened. That has been really useful information. I used to think I didn't take that long to do videos. It takes all day. It really does. It eats up a good work day, like 8 hours from start to finish, between pre-planning, filming, voicing, editing, posting, all that. It eats up a whole day. So it's just good to see it, and then I can know and plan for it as my schedule allows, and then that way I can plan for the other things that I need to mix in and all those daily activities. And the way I usually do it is, like I said, I kind of pre-plan the week, put in the tasks, and then if something doesn't go to plan, like I didn't actually really get to work on those goals tasks, I can just take it off and write in what I actually did at that time frame. I sometimes will do this throughout the day if I have like a lot of variation going on in my day, but if not, I'll do it the next day, and I'll just go back and kind of remember about how much time it took me to do each of those things that I had planned. So that has been really helpful for me as far as being productive, fitting in things that I want to do as far as like my goals, and just trying to make time where I felt like there was no time, or there was too much wasted time that I didn't need, or I didn't capitalize on. So that said, it's been really great. It is a little bit time consuming, obviously, you know, the setup, figuring out your day, but it's not more time consuming than if you had a, you know, a digital schedule. So that's how I use it, and it's been very helpful for me just to kind of keep track of all the things. So that is my hourly. I don't use this back page for anything anymore. I was using that for monthly goal review, but I just haven't had time to do that, honestly. And it was helpful at the time, but it was just kind of more of like a moment of help where, you know, you review your goals and then you forget about it. So I just decided to let that be one thing I could let go. And that's what I've been doing. Let's see. Yeah, you guys were not very helpful with the whole gray black lines, but that's okay. I'll figure something out. And like I said, I'll probably do another poll before I go live with it to see what people prefer. September's already in. Lastly, I have my budget planner, which is at the back. I don't go through that, but if you want to see kind of how I'm using it and what I'm using, I do have a video set up on that, which we can go through. But basically, that's the rest of my setup. And then at the very back, I have a reference section here. And then this is where I just keep those long-term items that I want to have on hand, but don't necessarily need to reference on a daily basis. Divided up into personal, business, social, and then I call it education. And then finally, the last tab is for just extra notes pages. And that's it, you guys. So that's a flip through of August. Like I said, I will be doing a planner refresh very soon. Summer feels like it's over. I mean, it's still hot, but it does feel like it's over as far as decor. I'm out of the summer mood and ready for fall vibes. So I'll be redoing my cover, redoing the inside with all my little summer elements, and giving myself some fall feels very, very soon. So hopefully you guys will join me for that. And let's see, I'll jump in the chat real quick, see if there's anything else I may have missed. I see, oh, what type of paper do I print on? I like, for my basic inserts, printables, to use HP Premium 32 paper. It should be linked in the description of this video, so if you want a direct link to it, but you can find that on Amazon and I think in most office supply stores in a ream of like $250 or $500. So that's my favorite. I've tried a few other ones in the similar weight. That's the one I go back to. That's the one that's been consistently really good quality for me. Also, if you want some kind of paper for more mixed media, I do have a recommendation with the Nina paper. I think it's Nina. That one's really good. It is a little bit yellow, but it's affordable and easy to get as well. So just let me know. Oh, thanks for the input about my class. Yeah, my class actually starts this week. I'm actually signed up for 2 classes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do both, but we'll see. I'm just trying to fit in all the things, people. Fit in all the things. We only got one life to live, right? So I'm trying to do it all. Let's hope I can. Anyway, I'm really happy you guys were able to join me this Sunday for the flip through. If there's anything I didn't answer along the way or anything else you want to know about, please let me know either here in the chat in the next minute or so or in the comments down below in the video. Be sure to, if you can, to like this video, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can see more videos and what I have to come here for the fall setup. That said, I think that will do it for us. So again, hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time. Bye.